Hello, welcome to this Recipes Atari stuff video. Most Atari computers come with this type of power supplies. However, these are so old these days that they are no longer reliable. This can lead to an unstable output voltage, which can cause crashes or even damage the components of the Atari. It's therefore wise to stop using these and use a modern power supply like an USB charger. However, some Atari ST computers have a built-in power supply. This is also the case with my Mega ST. In this video we will try to replace it with this modern power supply. This power supply is the Mean Well RD-50A. It's a commonly used replacement power supply for the Atari ST. It provides both 5V and 12V outputs, which is exactly what we need for the Mega ST. There's also a 24V version available, so be careful which one you order. The power supply also delivers higher power, which is useful if you want to install upgrades in the ST. But I'm hoping it will fit without having to modify the case. So let's start by opening the Mega ST to find out. And this is the Mega ST whose power supply we're going to replace with this Mean Well one. But if you saw one of my previous videos, you also saw that this case was ruined by a failed retrobrite. And I haven't seen a way to fix it. But luckily I came across this one. This case is still in good condition. So we're going to transfer the internals of this ST into this one. With the new power supply, of course. We'll start by opening up the Mega ST. For this there are 9 screws at the bottom. Then you can lift off the top. But it is still connected by the clock backup battery compartment by a cable. Then of course we have the metal shielding. It can be released by straightening those tabs. I think we've covered them all. Then with a bit of fiddling the cover can come off. Well, now we see the inside. And this is the power supply that we are going to replace. We also see the 4MB memory expansion. If you saw my previous video, then you might have heard that this is the Extra RAM Deluxe. It's connected similarly like the regular Extra RAM module in my 520 ST. Now let's see if we can easily remove that power supply. It's connected to the main board with a single connector. Oh, it's loose. That wasn't too hard. The power supply is mounted on a metal plate, which we plan to reuse. Just like the power switch. But that fan can go. Yes, I had a fan in my Mega 1. While it was omitted from most Mega 1 models because it wasn't needed. So I have had to endure all that noise unnecessary for all those years. But the new power supply doesn't get as hot as the old one, so it can go anyway. And this will be the new power supply. The Mean Well RD-50. We're going to place it on that metal plate. I don't know how I'm going to orient it yet. We can easily unscrew the current power supply. For now it's only connected to the 220 wires and a wire for the fan. It would be great if those screw holes match up. Nah, unfortunately not. That would be quite a coincidence. We're going to desolder the power input wires from the old power supply. Only the fan wires remain, but we're going to remove the fan anyway. So, now we got the bottom plate loose. Now we have to figure out where we're going to place the power supply. This seems the most logical direction. But then you get tangled up with those wires. Maybe the other way around? But then the floppy cable will get in the way. I think this is the best position. Maybe I can use the original power wires. But that's going to be a tight squeeze. There's still a piece of insulation on the bottom plate. That was, of course, to prevent the bottom making contact with the PCB. But the new power supply is completely encased in metal. Hey, there are 2 threaded holes here. I can mount it here. But we don't need that insulation. It's even better to remove it. Then the power supply can distribute its heat better. And both parts are then connected to ground. It's loose. Yes, that's going to be very nice. I'm just not happy with those 220 volt parts being so exposed. I want to put some heat shrink tubing around this. I have to detach some wires first. I'm desoldering the wires on the power connector side. Now I can slide the heat shrink tubing over all sides. And then I can solder the wires back in place. And now I can put the heat shrink tubing over that as well. The heat shrink tubing has now shrunk. And this looks a lot better. Let's check if the power supply still fits. Yes, it still fits. Now we can make the holes for the screws. First center punch the locations. Then we can drill the holes. Therein, we just need to remove the sharp edges. Also on the other side. Then we can screw on the power supply. Nice that we can use the same screws for this. First connect the power input. I want to use cable lugs for this. I have this set for that. I prefer to use lip cable lugs for this, but I only have them in blue. I think the wire is too thin for that. Red is a better fit for those wires, but I only have eyelet cable lugs in red. Then the screw has to fit just right. And yes, it does. So I can use those. But the wires turned out to be too short. I made these extension wires. I'm going to solder them to the power wires. They're long enough now, so I can mount them on the power supply now. They're actually a bit too long now. But I can hide that here. Well, I think this looked pretty good this way. Now these are in place, we can test the power supply. Power input is connected. Then I can turn it on. Hey, the LED is on, that's a good sign. We first measure the 5 volts. Yeah, that's correct. Then the 12 volts. Yes, that's also good enough. Then we can now connect the remaining wires. Here is the original power supply. We want to reuse the wires and the connector. They are soldered to the board. So that means desoldering. The wires are loose. They were also attached with some kind of glue. So we have to remove that. We have one blue wire for the 12 volts, 3 black ones for ground and 2 red ones for the 5 volts. I'm going to extend the 12 volts with this blue wire. The 3 ground wires with the 1 thicker black wire. And the 5 volts with this brown one. I couldn't find the red wire. The power supply has a separate ground connection for the 12 and 5 volts, but I'm only going to connect one. These two are probably connected anyway. But let's measure it. And indeed, they are connected. Then I first attach cable lugs to one end. That's done. Then the other ends can be soldered to the cable. And another piece of heat shrink tubing goes over that. The wires are ready to be screwed onto the power supply. I cut out a piece of insulation from the old power supply. And then I'm going to put that between the power input and the metal case. I also made a wire for the ground connection. I connect that too, although it's probably not really necessary. It's already connected through the metal case. There, that's in place. Just checking if all the ground points are connected. Yes, great. Then we can now install the power supply into the Mega ST. It's in place. Now connect the connector. Those wires still need to be tucked away a bit. Well, I do those later. Then I also tie them together. Now first, test it. Well, everything's in. Yeah, I had to improvise a bit for that ground connection of the memory expansion. Then it can be turned on. The LED lights up. And the floppy drive spins. Yes, and it boots up. That's great. It's always reassuring to see the familiar GEM desktop again. And it still works. Back to the power supply. Is it getting warm? No, not at all. I think we can safely leave that fan out. It doesn't get hot at all. It can be turned off again. Because we're now going to place this in the other Mega ST case. First I'll take out the floppy drive. Because I want to clean the head. Then the board can be lifted out. This is the new bottom. There, it's in place. Now the power supply can be fastened. And we still have to tie the power supply wires together. Look, much better this way. The drive has been cleaned, so it can go back in. Then the sealing, always tricky. Many people leave it out because it's not really needed anymore. But to keep the Atari as original as possible, I prefer to put it back in. After some fiddling, the shielding is in place. Now the top. Okay, that's in. Then just screw it together and do a final test. Everything's back together and connected. Let's see if everything still works properly. Hey, something's happening. Yes, that looks good. And it boots up. And does the floppy drive still works after the cleaning? Yes, it still works. And I don't hear a noisy fan. That's fantastic. With this new power supply, I no longer have to worry about my Atari ST being damaged by an outdated power supply. And the fact that the fan is gone is a big relief. Plus my Mega ST is now better suited for more expansions. And a new expansion for my ST is currently on its way. It will be covered in detail in a new video, as this video has reached the end. I want to thank everybody for watching this video and also ask to click the like button. You make me even happier if you also subscribe. This way the channel can grow even further and you'll stay up to date on new videos. So, all that remains to say is see you at the next Atari stuff video. Bye!